Hi, welcome back to our class. So last week you already started our lesson about changes in matter. Okay, so for today we're going to continue that. Before we start, let's review some vocabulary words and be introduced to some. Okay, so we have melting point, freezing point, boiling point, condensation, evaporation, rate, steam, water vapor, exposed surface, temperature, sublimation, deposition, and frost. Okay, so these are some of the vocabulary words that you have to be familiar. Okay, you can pause this video and then write those Thai words. Okay, so try to be familiar with them and review some vocabulary words. Okay, then we will go to our lesson. Okay, so last week teacher Yuri discussed about changes in matter. Okay, you already know that there are two types of changes in matter. Okay, there's physical change and chemical change. Okay, so when matter goes through changes, okay, so this one, the other one, when the chocolate changes shape, okay, or size, but it's still the same, there's no new substance formed, then it's a physical change. Okay, but this one, when you burn paper, you produce new substance. Then this is chemical change, okay? But with this one, when the ice melts, it's only a physical change. I hope you're already clear with that, okay? Okay, so this one, we said that physical change can be two kinds. Okay, so one kind is when you make a solution. Okay, so this one, so when you dissolve salt into water, the salt mixes with the water and you form a solution, a homogeneous solution, wherein you cannot see where the salt is anymore. It's within the water, it's within the liquid. Okay, or you can make, this one is a homogeneous solution, or you can produce a mixture. Okay, so in this kind, you put them together, the sand, the water, and the oil, but there are no new substance formed. Okay, no new substance, and you can still see where's the sand, where's the water, and where's the oil. Okay, so you produce a mixture, but there's no new substance formed, so this is still a kind of a physical change. Okay, you already answered this last week. Okay, so let's continue. Let's review. Last week you already studied this. Changes in the state of matter are examples of physical changes. In Proton 4, you already studied about the different states of matter. You have solid, liquid, and gas. Okay, and when there are changes between the states of matter, and they can return or go back to their original state, then it's all only physical change. Okay, so this is an example. So when ice turns into water, it's called melting. Okay, so when ice change into water, and what's the state of ice, state of matter? It's solid, right? So when solid changes to liquid, it's called melting. Okay, and when liquid changes into solid, it's called freezing. Okay, so these are the processes, or these are the changes in the state of matter. These changes are physical changes. Okay, another one is when water changes into gas or steam. Okay, this process is called boiling. Okay, and when steam or water vapor changes into liquid again, it's called condensation. Okay, I hope you understand these changes. Okay, so this kind of changes in the state of matter is an example of physical changes. Okay, there are many different examples of physical changes. So what, for example, when you cut when you cut pieces of paper into smaller pieces, it's a physical change. You change the size of the paper, okay, right? But you did not produce any new substance. So that's an example of a physical change. Sometimes you can still the changes in here can still go back to its original state or original form, but sometimes it's the changes cannot be put back together, but still there's no new substance formed, okay? One more time. Melting is when solid change into liquid, and when liquid change into solid, it's called freezing, okay? And when liquid change into gas, it's called boiling, and when gas change into liquid, it's called condensation, okay? You have to remember what it means in Thai so you can understand more, okay? Now there's another thing that we have to understand, that sometimes water or liquid can change into water vapor without adding heat. This one, boiling, is you add heat, okay? You let it boil. You let the water reach boiling point, okay? But when you don't add heat, and water can also change into water vapor, okay? So this one, see, when you wash your clothes, okay, and put it outside, the water evaporates, okay? This is called evaporation, okay? Evaporation is the process when water changes into water vapor, or liquid changes into gas, okay, at room temperature, okay? It can happen at room temperature, okay? Last week teacher Yuri asked you to do this experiment, right? Okay, he asked you to answer this, okay? Okay, so let's go back to this page. I hope I will explain one more time. So again, when water changes into steam and it reaches the boiling point, okay? The boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, okay? So when the temperature reaches 100 degrees Celsius, therefore the water will change into steam, okay? But this one is different. Evaporation can happen even if at room temperature, okay? Even if it does not reach 100 degrees Celsius, water can evaporate. Water can change into water vapor, okay? Water vapor is gas, okay? So, like I've said, when you wash your clothes or when you wash your hands, okay? When you wash your hands after eating, sometimes you don't dry them using a towel, okay? But then your hands will be dry later on, okay? So it means that the water evaporated, okay? So when water become water vapor without boiling, no? This is called evaporation, okay? So like I've said, teacher Yuri already asked you to answer this part. What affects the rate of evaporation, okay? I'll go back to the vocabulary. What do you mean by the word rate of evaporation? Or what affects the speed of evaporation? How long will evaporation takes place, okay? So we're going to study temperature, okay? Temperature, wind, and the area of exposed surface are some of the factors that affect the rate of evaporation, okay? So there are three factors that affects the rate of evaporation. We have temperature, we have wind, and the area of the exposed surface, okay? So for this one, the rate of evaporation increases with an increase in temperature. So you have two examples, okay? Which puddle of water will evaporate faster? So this one is outside and this one is inside, in the toilet, okay? In the bathroom. So which do you think will evaporate faster? Which will be dry faster? So if you're going to see, outside is hotter, right? It's under the direct sunlight, and this one is inside in the room. It does not receive direct sunlight. Therefore, evaporation will increase in speed. Will increase the rate of evaporation if it's hotter. Okay, so temperature, the higher the temperature is, the faster the evaporation will take place. Okay, so that's one factor. Another one that affects evaporation is wind. Okay, so evaporation increases with an increase in wind speed. Okay, many of you is familiar about this one. Okay, this is a blower. Okay, hair blower or hair dryer. Okay, so this one uses two factors, wind and temperature, right? So if you have tried this one, you notice that it produces hot air, no? It produces hot wind. So the wind and the temperature helps to dry the hair faster. Okay, and this is the third factor that affects the rate of evaporation. Okay, so the rate of evaporation increases with an increase in the area of the exposed surface. So if you're going to observe towel A and towel B, what is the difference? Okay, in towel A, it's stretched out, right? So there's more surface area exposed compared to this one. It's not stretched out. Okay, so which do you think will become dry faster? Which will dry first? Towel A or towel B? Towel A or towel B? See this one, maybe at home you already try hanging your towels. If you hang your towel like this, it will not dry fast because there is more exposed area in this one. So the heat and the air can make the water evaporate faster in this one compared to this one. Okay, so I hope you understand the factors that affect the rate of evaporation. Okay, so we're going to answer your workbook page 55. Okay, so go to your workbook page 55. Okay, so workbook page 55 starts with number 12. Which of the following does not increase the rate of evaporation? Which of the following does not, okay, it does not increase the rate of evaporation. So you have two correct answers. Okay, we already studied what are the factors that affect the rate of evaporation. So which does not? Okay, answer 2. Okay, okay, so subjective question number 13. No? Ari is making some iced lollies. He pours the same amount of juice into bowls A and B. He places bowl A in the freezer, which is at 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, and he places bowl B in the fridge, which is at 6 degrees Celsius. Okay, so bowl A is in the freezer at 0 degrees Celsius, and bowl B is in the fridge, which is at 6 degrees Celsius. Okay, now after 5 hours, he places the two bowls on the table. So after 5 hours, he gets the two bowls outside, put it on the table. Okay, and then he observed that the juice in bowl A have turned into ice lollies. Okay, so the one that he pours on bowl A turned into ice lollies, while the juice in bowl B remained in its liquid state. Okay, so the one in bowl A changes into solid, but in bowl B it's still liquid. Okay, so the question, what can we conclude about the freezing temperature of the juice? What is the freezing temperature? What can you say about the freezing temperature of the juice? Okay, and letter B, is this process making ice lollies a physical change or a chemical change? So when you make ice lollies, is it a physical change or a chemical change? So you just write, is it a physical change? you write physical change. If it's a chemical change, you write chemical change. And then letter C, explain your answer in B. So whatever you answer in B, you have to explain why you answered that. And letter D, give another example of the type of change mentioned in B. So you give another example that refers to the answer in letter B, okay? So that's it for today, and then tomorrow we're going to continue about physical changes till up tomorrow, okay? So answer your workbook page 55. Okay, bye!